So we did exponential growth, and now we do the reverse, which is exponential decay. So exponential decay is, things that go down and down and down. So it makes me think of like carbon dating, right? That the carbon in a substance goes down and down exponentially, and they figure out like how much carbon is in it now, and they find the equation, and then they can figure out how old the species was, right? And there's lots of other things, of course, that decay exponentially. So again, in decay, the base is a fraction. So the base is between 0 and 1. And it's called the decay factor. So here, you got to be careful though. Here, this is the same, remember, as y equals 1/2 to the x, 2 to the negative 1. So the decay factor is 1/2, or again 1/2, or 1/2. And then there, that 4 to the negative power is 1/4. I'm going to put a star like that because there is one like that on the test where it's got a negative exponent and you got to write it as a fraction. Okay, so now what we're going to do is use our same formula, but instead of a plus, it's a minus. So here we have find the value of the television if it starts off costing $1,200 and it decreases by 21% each year. So the value after a certain number of time is going to be 1200.79 to the t. If I want to find out what the value is after 2 years, 1200 times 0.79 squared, and I could put that in a calculator, and it would decrease to $748.92. For estimating when the graph is 500, essentially what we're doing is, plugging this in. Do I have my graphing calculator? I do. So we're going to plug this in. So I'm going to my graphing calculator and I'm typing in y equals 1200 times 0.79 to the x. Now, of course, I've got to adjust my window, right? So the x value is in years, so I usually do something like between -10 and 10, counting by ones. But the y value, if it starts at 1200s going down, maybe I'll make the y value like 1500. So my graph will look something like this. Again, I redid my window to count the x's between -10 and 10, and the y's between -10 and like 1500. And that's under window that you adjust that. Now you want to find out when the y value is 500, but remember that you can't plug in a y, so you've got to trace it. You've got to hit the trace and kind of approximate. So I've done this here and found an ordered pair that was like 3.6 repeating, comma 505. So that'll be like good enough, I guess. So when in 3 2/3 years, right? In 3 2/3 years, or you could say, I guess that would be, 8 months? 3 years, 8 months. So here's a little, here's a little explanation of how to adjust the window. Yep, so exponential decay.